Okay, here we are.
It's been really warm out.
Finally. We're not wearing a hoodie and sweatpants to record
Well, I am.
in this space. Not wearing a hoodie. Pretty sure the last episode, I don't even know.
Most episodes.
Were we wearing a hoodie? Maybe I was. But out now, 90 degrees.
PJ pants.
Not quite 90 degrees. Not 90 degrees right now. Look, check it out. Here's my water bottle, and it's got decals on it. Bigfoot, Chupacabra.
Still gotta order me some like Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster, that's right. Gotta get some of that. But where do you order it from?
questionablemerch.co.
But it's not just that easy.
Oh, you can find that at linktree.com/BOTQS.
There you go. But the Etsy store is Questionable Merch Co. I don't want to pull that down. questionablemerchco.etsy.com. Anyway, who are you?
I'm Phoenix.
And I'm Will.
And we're here to bring on the questions.
Oh, yeah. We already told the people the link for the merch store, which is the first link you get to at linktree.com/BOTQS.
But there's other stuff on there too. And you'll be able to find all the stuff if you just visit that.
Yeah, it's that easy. It's that easy. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker is where we host our podcast. But it gets distributed to all the things. Buzzsprout, Podbean. You should start a Podchaser. Podchaser is like a social network for podcasts.
Yes. So many like podcast apps.
Yeah, there are. It's crazy. And people like them for different reasons. Spotify is aggressive, and they're, we could totally do an episode on Spotify because we did one on Starbucks. Spotify's aggressive. They don't pay their music artists enough, as we're told. Apple Podcasts, if you listen to podcasts and you have an iOS device, that's the thing to use. I am an Android user. I use Spotify because a lot of the shows I like are there, and it's a good user interface for me. Where do you listen to podcasts, Phoenix, if you were to listen to podcasts?
Well, occasionally I'll the one podcast that I do occasionally tune into, I watch them most of the time. Because they're on YouTube. And,
YouTube.
Their podcast is just part of a bigger platform.
Who are they then? Smosh. We are also on YouTube.
Yeah.
That link is there also. TikTok. Instagram.
Facebook earns us money.
Oh, we just started that. We are now what's it called? Content. Well, we obviously create contents, but we are getting creator monetization.
Right. We are monetized.
So the one episode, or the one clip from the previous episode has like 847 views or something. And we got 3 whole cents for it. All right.
Better than nothing.
And then another clip that I did, or from the last episode, at about 180 views, it got a cent. Moving on up.
4 cents.
So we're not getting paid. We are getting paid somehow, some way. But it would be cool if people bought merch, told us about it. One guy did. We'll talk about him in the next episode. He's from Puerto Rico.
If that helps you at all.
Okay.
What?
We know what. Do you know what he bought?
Yeah. You showed me.
Yeah.
It's a cryptid.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's from Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm. I think that's all the clues you need.
Yeah.
And that's going to be our next episode. But that's not this episode.
We're doing another conspiracy theory about the Earth.
So, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
Do you think the Earth is flat?
Me personally? No. I hesitated because old flat earthers have some serious arguments about the Earth being flat.
Their evidence is good.
Until it's not.
Yes. Until there is scientific proven pictures of the Earth being round.
That's what they tell you.
Do you want me to become an astronaut and take a picture on my phone myself?
It's all propaganda. 4D. It's a 4D ride out into outer space. And it's all smoke and mirrors when you get there. You think that's the Earth you're looking at when you get out there?
Don't tell me you're a conspiracy theorist now.
No, I'm just getting into their head about the flat Earth and the modern movement of flat Earth. Anyway, let's get started with the episode. There's actually quite a bit to cover. The conceptualization of the Earth's physical form represents one of the most fundamental shifts in human intellectual history, transitioning from intuitive, sensory-based observations of a flat plane to a mathematically derived understanding of an oblate spheroid. I think that term came up in the Hollow Earth episode because it rotates so quick, it flattens out the North and South Pole, and that was one theory of how the Hollow Earth would happen. So that it would rotate, and the North and South would flatten out and then open up. Ooh, crazy!
I forget whether it's Saturn or Uranus, but one of them is rotating so fast that they're that planet is becoming ovular.
Ovular?
Oval?
Yeah. Is it Neptune?
I never said Neptune.
What did you say? Uranus. Might be Uranus. I think Saturn has that weird, crazy. It's Saturn, right? It has a weird, crazy hexagon storm at the pole. All right, you look up whatever you're looking up. I'll finish reading this part. Historically, the belief in a flat Earth was not a fringe conspiracy, but a standard cosmological framework for numerous early civilizations rooted in the immediate evidence of the horizon. This belief persisted until the Hellenistic period, when the integration of geometry and systematic observation provided the first empirical proof of a spherical Earth. However, the modern era has witnessed a paradoxical resurgence of the flat Earth hypothesis, fueled by a unique confluence of digital algorithms, institutional distrust, and a philosophical return to zetetic or sensory-led inquiry. We're going to examine the historical trajectory, the mechanisms of change, the modern revival, and the psychological underpinnings that allow a scientifically disproven theory to flourish in an age of unprecedented access to information.
So it's Saturn. I think I was thinking of Uranus because it is on a tilt sideways, horizontal axis.
What? I thought that was Neptune.
No, that's Uranus.
Okay.
Let me look it up.
Here we go, looking up stuff in the middle. Yes, Saturn's the one with the hexagon storm. And that's getting That's the one getting ovular?
Yeah. Saturn's spinning so fast it's becoming ovular. But yeah.
Whoa. Does that mean at some distant point in the future it will be flat?
Possibly. And since it's a gas giant, there's not really any solids to stop it from being flat.
Awesome. So we can have a flat planet in the solar system before the sun blows up?
Not us. We'll be dead before that happens.
Well, that's disappointing. It's not going to happen in 100 years. We'll be back a couple of times before that happens.
Well, we won't remember.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
We should look at the karmic system.
Anyway, Uranus has an axial tilt of 98 degrees.
It is Uranus.
So it is almost on its side compared to the other planets.
Right. Also not flat.
Not flat.
Just a little off today. You said 90-some degrees, didn't you?
98.
More like, that's 90. 98.
This would be 0. Straight line?
I thought there was one planet that was... Well, even the Earth has an axial tilt.
Well, we aren't 98 degrees tilted.
Feels like it's 98 degrees in here.
We are on our regular tilt, slightly that way. Uranus
is a bit more. What?
98 degrees off of it.
Oh. So the poles are that far off. If the Earth is 90 degrees, did you say this was 90?
Yeah. No, what?
The Earth is 92. What did you say it was?
I just said that, like, this would be like a 0.
Okay, straight up and down, 0. You just said flat was 0.
Well, I just took the line and turned the whole thing so I didn't break my arm. This is 0.
That's 0. You said this was 0.
Well, that was before.
This was 90. So now you're saying this is 0 and this is 90, and Uranus is just a wee bit more than that. How do they know? How do you know that's north? Pointing down.
I'm just demonstrating. The Earth is slightly tilted. Uranus is very much tilted.
Axial tilt's the reason for the season.
Yes. We currently are towards the sun.
Well, that's all if it is actually round.
There's years of scientific evidence that proves the Earth is round. Hundreds to thousands of years.
Propaganda. Read about it. Come on, let's go.
So Galileo and other astronomers don't exist?
They existed. But they worked for the man.
Which man? There's a whole lot of men.
We should get through some of this episode and then have another conversation about it.
In the earliest stages of human civilization, the Earth was almost universally perceived as a flat surface, often described as a disk or a square, bounded by water or celestial barriers. This perspective was not the result of scientific failure, but rather a logical extension of human perception, where the ground appears stationary and the horizon seemingly meets the sky at a uniform distance. For the ancient observer, The earth was the stable foundation of the universe, an immovable plane upon which the drama of existence unfolded.
The cosmographies of Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt provided the earliest recorded versions of a flat earth model. In Egyptian and Babylonian thought, the world was frequently depicted as a flat disk floating within a vast primordial ocean. The Babylonians, in the 6th century BCE, produced the Imago Mundi, the oldest known world map, which portrayed the Earth as a circular plane surrounded by a, quote, bitter river. This map did not merely represent geography, but served as a theological statement, placing Babylon at the center of a disc-shaped world.
So narcissism is how they created their map.
Narcissism?
They put themselves in the middle. Babylon. All the rest.
Yeah. That was their point of reference. That was their only point of reference. I would say, yeah, sure. There's a bit of narcissism in there. And we're the ones figuring it out. Of course we're in the middle.
Obviously, we're in the middle.
They can't figure it out over there. It's Neanderthals.
That was before their time.
Are you sure? 6th century BCE.
That was like 500s. There's... It goes way back.
According to Graham Hancock, some of it's missing.
Probably not just some.
Like, people weren't around for 18,000 years or something. Like, there's no evidence of people for a period of time.
Sharks are older than trees. Used to be just tall fungus lumps.
Do the schnozberries also taste like schnozberries? It was such a weird statement. Like, I said there was people missing. You're like, sharks are older than trees.
It's true.
Yes.
Sharks are like 400 million years old, and trees are
still here.
Yeah. So there most likely was megalodons at one point.
Yeah.
Probably during the dinosaur age.
We need more oxygen. Oh, carbon. To get the megafauna. Well, we need both. We need more carbon, which will produce more oxygen. To bring the megafauna back.
Is that like a giant shark?
Megafauna? No, giant animals. Oh. Period. Fauna is animals, living beasts. Flora or
I don't think I want to bring back the Titanoboa.
It's kind of big.
Kinda. It ate alligators.
Cool.
And those alligators were probably big back then.
Do you think they swam off the edge of the earth?
Titanoboa?
Yeah. That's why they're not around anymore.
No, they just died off.
Because they got past the ice wall. You should keep going.
It's your turn.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
At the center of a disc-shaped world. I just read that. Bitter River.
All right.
The early Israelites are yours.
The early Israelites conceptualized the earth as a disk floating upon water, overarched by a solid dome known as the firmament.
Firmament. Like a snow globe.
Oh.
Think of the flat earth as a snow globe. Yep, happens sometimes.
That's called the water cycle.
You remember seeing the end of Krampus, right?
Yeah.
You put everybody in a snow globe.
Well, there's more others, too.
Yeah, little towns. Little small towns that are in different snow globes. But overall, perhaps there's a greater snow globe that encompasses the Krampus and his world. Come on. Think about it. But you have to say it out loud too, because this is an audio medium as well.
I feel like Krampus is like a celestial being, though. He just exists and doesn't need a placeholder to exist.
What a concept. I have to think about that one.
Like, he is the holder of the. You know? He is the holder of different people.
Who watches the Watcher? Who Krampus is the Krampus? Is there another beyond that? Like he just exists in this other place?
Well, I think he kind of ruled over all of the creatures that came and captured all of the people.
Where did it all come from? Is Krampus a product of the devil?
No, he's a product of German folklore.
So a tulpa. We should talk tulpas soon. It's a mind form. So many people think about one thing for so long, it comes into existence.
You think so hard, it
manifests. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different, I would say.
It's similar.
Sure. If you imagine the fear hard enough, the fear will get you.
Yeah. Like you think of something so much and so hard, it eventually comes true.
Yes. If I keep doing this, I'm going to break my leg. We'll stop doing that. No? Gonna keep doing it? Okay. Kind of like my mom. I knew the phone was going to ring. Well, it's because you're waiting for a phone call.
If you're waiting for it, it's going to happen eventually.
Anyway, we should talk about flat Earth today.
Yeah. How do we get on snow globe? That's what
snow globe. Think of the firmament, solid dome as the firmament. Flat Earth is in a snow globe.
This dome, or
Rakia,
served as a physical barrier separating the terrestrial realm from the, quote, waters above, with celestial bodies like the sun, moon, and stars embedded within its structure. This model was inherently geocentric and finite, providing a sense of order and divine protection. The
Homeric
tradition in 8th century BCE, Greece mirrored these views. In the Iliad, the shield of Achilles is described as featuring a cosmography where the Earth is a flat disk encircled by a vast river, Oceanus, the source of all life and gods. Philosophers of the pre-Socratic era is the Thales of.
I think in Greek, I pretty much learned. Well, I didn't pretty much learn. Playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey taught me that some of these Greek words are pronounced a little bit different. Like our American tongue would say Thales of Miletus, but I think it's Thales of it's not Miletus. I don't know how I would break it down.
Miletus?
Miletus? That sounds right. Thales of Miletus? Sure.
Thales of Miletus, circa 550 BC, argued that the earth floated in water like a log, while
Anaximenes
proposed that the earth was a flat disk supported by air. These models were highly effective for explaining local phenomena and aligned perfectly with the lived experience of the ancient observer.
They observed what they could where they were.
When they were.
Right. Beyond the Mediterranean, other civilizations developed distinct but equally flat models. Ancient Chinese scholars consistently describe the Earth as flat and square, while the heavens were viewed as a round, enveloping dome, a concept known as Gaitian. This square Earth model remained the dominant astronomical framework in China for centuries, resisting the spherical models that were beginning to take root in the West. It was only with the arrival of Jesuit missionaries in the 17th century that European spherical models were introduced and eventually integrated into Chinese science.
In Northern Europe, Norse and Germanic cosmologies imagined a flat Earth surrounded by a great ocean with a world tree, Yggdrasil, or a central pillar acting as the axis of the universe. These cosmographies are deeply tied to mythological narratives, where the physical shape of the Earth was inseparable from its spiritual significance. The persistence of these ideas across diverse cultures suggests that the flat Earth model is the quote, default human setting, a conclusion drawn from the immediate data provided by the senses before the intervention of abstract mathematical reasoning.
The transition from a flat to a spherical Earth model represents a triumph of deductive reasoning over immediate sensory data. This shift was primarily driven by Greek mathematicians and philosophers who recognized that certain celestial and terrestrial observations could not be reconciled with a flat plane. The intellectual leap required the ability to value geometric consistency over the literal interpretation of the horizon. The idea of a spherical Earth first appeared in the 6th century BCE with Pythagoras. Pythagoras is how we would say it, but in Assassin's Creed,
Pythagorean theorem.
that's the guy. Yep. But in the game, when he shows up, it's Pythagoras. His reasoning was partly aesthetic and philosophical. Philosophical. Believing. So maybe I'm wrong altogether. Pronouncing stuff is harder than it looks. His reasoning was partly aesthetic and philosophical, believing that the sphere was the most perfect geometric shape and therefore must be the shape of the Earth. Again, seems a little narcissistic. The Earth is perfect. That's where we live, in a perfect world.
The Earth is not perfect.
It's a little bit off today.
What?
It's an oblate spheroid. It's not a perfect sphere.
Alright. It's a little ovular.
Just a touch.
Because it spins so fast, it stretches out a lot. Like when you spin and you hold your arms out and you can feel the blood in your fingertips and your arms feel weird. Have you ever done that?
Yeah. One time in my growing up, I was probably 10 years old or so. We had my grandfather gave us a barrel, a big plastic barrel that had big holes cut on both sides. And we hung it on a tree as a swing. So it was like this barrel shaped swing that we could get into. And one of the older kids in the neighborhood, he was over and he told me to get in it and he was going to twist it all the way up. And I felt the centrifugal force because he twisted it all the way up and spun it out, and I was pinned up against the inside of the barrel. And I was screaming, and then I stopped because I was spinning so fast. That's how my mind remembers it.
It's kind of like our drunk swing when you are all the way at the top. Or like I would just spin on it. And like the closer you are in together, the faster you spin. But if you're all stretched out and let your arms like flail out, like you relax your body and your arms flail out because you can't,
Yeah. So that's what's happening at the equator of the Earth. The equator is getting, it's not, they go way out to perceive it, but the equator is a little stretched out. It's not a perfect sphere.
If you look at pictures of Saturn, I bet you could, well, the rings are in the way. So it's hard to see.
Oh, rings. Or so we're told.
You and your conspiracy theories. I have scientific proof.
Do you? Who told you? How do you believe them? Next thing you're going to tell me Wendigos aren't real. Huh?
They haven't been proven to be real yet. There's cases of people going Wendigo. That's the spirit of the Wendigo possessing them.
Do you think Wendigo believes in flat Earth?
I don't know if Wendigo know what that even means.
They're not concerned.
I think they're just concerned about food.
They're concerned about their next meal that will not sustain them.
They're always concerned about their next meal because they're always hungry.
Yep. On this flat Earth. Read about Pythagoras.
Do you finish?
Well, I finished my part. Pythagoras? I thought I did, right? Does my part keep going? Yours isn't broken up like mine. Perfect geometric shape and therefore must be the shape of the Earth. Do I keep going? Okay, fine. Pythagoras also observed the phases of the moon and the curvature of the, quote, terminator line, the boundary between light and shadow, concluding that if the moon was spherical, the Earth likely was as well. By the 4th century BCE, Plato was teaching the spherical model in his academy, though it was his student Aristotle who provided the first rigorous empirical evidence.
Aristotle also made the geocentric solar system.
Oh, another narcissistic.
That he wrote in the Bible and that a lot of people believed until one guy before Galileo that he got the idea from.
Archimedes?
I'm not sure. But
I don't know the timeline of all those fellas. Aristotle, Archimedes, Galileo.
Well, Aristotle was before Galileo. I don't know about the timeline of Archimedes. But Galileo helped prove that the geocentric model was incorrect and that it's a heliocentric model. And some weirdos thought of a geoheliocentric model and did whole mess. That doesn't work out.
Yeah, we talked about that. If you insert gravity into that mess, then
gravity and the rotations, like the orbits
right.
of each planet, it just doesn't work out.
No, that one's easily disproven.
Yes. The geocentric was
cool
but wrong. Heliocentric, cool and right.
According to who? Huh? You're just
astronomy.
Those guys.
Science.
Another religion.
If you believe in science, you're an atheist or you're agnostic.
Well, you don't have to be. You can believe in science and still believe there's a greater creator.
Well, yes, but if you just believe in science, you are an atheist. Because Aristotle wrote that stuff in the Bible and people followed. the Bible. So everyone thought that that the Earth was the center of the system because it was in the Bible.
That's some Old Testament stuff. Is there a book of Aristotle in the Bible?
Probably is.
I don't think there is.
Well, if not, there's got to be Aristotle mentioned in the Bible.
You should tell us about Aristotle and his stuff from the notes. Thank you for your knowledge that's already ingrained into you by the propaganda.
It's not propaganda. There's true evidence that this all is true.
According to the public school system that you were part of, being indoctrinated in.
Well, whose fault is that?
The system.
And it's not a geocentric system. Let's get going. Aristotle, circa 384 to 322 BCE. That was before Galileo.
So he was 58.
That doesn't seem old to now, but it was old.
More propaganda. Keep going.
No, that's just because they didn't have better medical care or like hygiene
For babies.
to keep them alive.
For babies.
For everyone.
When you got past a certain age, they lived a long freaking time. So, way to think about it, I'm pretty sure, maybe it's more propaganda, but the average life expectancy was lower because of more people dying at a younger age. So you get past all the early diseases in their adolescent time. Good to go, man, for a while.
But as you get older, your immune system again becomes weaker.
Right. So 58 is probably pretty good.
Like what our average is, like 75 to 80s.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like the average death time.
Yeah. So if everything goes well, I've got a couple decades to go.
You're only in your 40s.
If everything goes well.
I think it's going well.
Your mother might get a hankering for that life insurance money one of these days. Maybe you too.
Let's hope not. I hope I get your health and not my mother's.
Because I don't go to the doctor? Because I don't have perpetual ailments?
Not really, just because my mom has a lot of health issues that have been passed down or that just...
Mm-hmm.
I think I have lung issues that have been passed down through our family.
Yep.
Because both sides got lung issues.
Yep. I have a regular doctor now. I just got that. More tangent, I guess. And that doctor, perhaps more propaganda, but it makes you feel good, said that since I've never been a smoker and my parents are smokers, were smokers, they stopped a while ago. They both ended up with some kind of lung cancer. And since I've never smoked anything
Directly.
right, secondhand smoke, there's plenty of that. I try to avoid it these days at all costs because it's gross. But he says since I've never been a direct smoker, I have a lot less chance of getting those cancers.
So that means since I haven't been around much secondhand smoke at all,
Righto.
then I'll have an even lower chance.
That makes sense.
So maybe it's just developing asthma.
Yeah, just asthma. Here on this flat Earth.
Okay, we're talking about Aristotle. Aristotle codified the arguments for a spherical Earth based on physical observation rather than just mathematical elegance. His primary proofs included the observation of lunar eclipses, where he noted that the shadow cast by Earth onto the Moon is always circular. Only a spherical object can project a circular shadow from every angle. A flat disk could project a line or an oval if the eclipse.
Eclipse.
I was trying to hold in a yawn.
Yep. Look for the eclipse.
If the eclipse occurred when the disk was tilted relative to the sun. Furthermore, Aristotle observed the change in stellar visibility. He noted that as travelers moved north or south, they saw different constellations. Stars visible in Egypt were not visible in Greece, a phenomenon only possible if the observer was moving along a curved surface that gradually obscured or revealed parts of the celestial sphere. Finally, marine observations by sailors provided practical evidence. As ships sailed away, their hulls disappeared below the horizon before their masts, indicating a curved surface rather than a flat plane where the ship would simply get smaller until it vanished.
Whatever. All these people going out and observing all these observations. And then telling everybody?
No, they're just going to keep it to themselves forever, and we're never going to know anything about the place we live on.
So all these people are conspiring, and the Earth is a globe.
They're not conspiring anymore. They proved that the Earth is a globe.
In the 3rd century BCE, Aristophanes, I like that one, the head of the Library of Alexandria. What?
Sounds like Stephanie.
Eratosthenes.
Stephanie.
Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes.
Eratosthenes.
Want to do that as spelling bee?
It's like
use it in a sentence. Okay. In the 3rd century BCE,
Eratosthenes.
Eratosthenes.
Tosthenes.
Eratosthenes.
Eratosthenes.
I'm going to use it in a sentence. Okay. In the 3rd century BCE, Eratosthenes, the head of the Library of Alexandria, performed a landmark experiment to calculate the Earth's circumference. There. Now spell Eratosthenes. No, don't. He observed that at noon on the summer solstice in Syene, the sun was directly overhead, casting no shadow in a deep well. Simultaneously, in Alexandria, the sun cast a shadow at an angle of approximately 7.2 degrees. Knowing the distance between the two cities, he used the geometric relationship that the angle of the shadow was equal to the angle of the arc between the two locations. His calculation used the formula C equals 360 degrees divided by O times S, where C is the circumference, O is the angle of the shadow, 7.2 degrees, and the S is the distance between Alexandria and Syene. His result was remarkably close to the modern measurement, reinforcing the spherical model as a physical reality that could be measured and mapped. Later, Claudius Ptolemy, 2nd century CE, incorporated the spherical model into his geocentric system, which became the standard for Western and Islamic astronomy for over a millennium.
Why did they choose O and S? Why not A and D?
What?
A would be the angle, D would be the distance, because C is circumference.
You want to take it up with them?
Yeah, I'm just going to time travel.
Yeah, a while ago. But it wouldn't work. Why it wouldn't work? Because the sun and the earth and all the planets in the solar system are somewhere else in the Milky Way. You would not make it there. You would be floating somewhere in the Milky Way.
Where did you go? I was talking about how these letters don't make sense. They just
Yeah, but you said time travel.
What got that?
Time travel, even if you did time travel, the Earth would not be in the same place in the Milky Way as it is right now. Your time machine wanted to be tied to the gravity of the Earth.
I feel like any time machine would do that.
Don't be the first pilot in the time machine then. Let somebody else do that.
No, I'll volunteer to go
To the moon.
5th to 10th.
Let the first 10 morons figure it out.
So there's a guarantee that I won't be sent into space.
There's just 10 morons just frozen in space, lined up. They're in orbit someplace now.
It's like they're gonna combine and make a new tiny moon that follows the Earth.
Just a string of corpses. Anyway, we need to get this going. We are only on page 4 of 10. Get it going.
A common historical misconception suggests that during the Middle Ages, Europeans reverted to a belief that in a flat Earth due to a religious dogma. Research indicates that this is largely a historiographical myth created in the 17th and 19th centuries to contrast the, quote, Enlightenment with a perceived period of religious ignorance. This myth was often used as a rhetorical tool by Protestants to argue against Catholic teachings or by secularists to portray science as a heroic struggle against the, quote, Dark Ages. Throughout the Middle Ages, the spherical shape of the Earth remained widely accepted among the educated elite and the clergy. Knowledge of the Earth's rotundity was a staple of the university curriculum, taught through standard textbooks such as John of Sacrobosso's De Shapira Mundi on the sphere of the world, which was written in the 13th century and remained in use for hundreds of years. While some isolated figures like Cosmas Indicopleustes
I like it. Sure. You got it.
Cosmas Indicopleustes, 6th century CE, proposed a rectangular, quote, tabernacle model based on a literal reading of the Bible. Their views were widely rejected by contemporary scholars and theologians who favored the classical Greek models.
I mean, that's all just a fight of conspiracy in there. It's crazy. No, it's flat because the Bible said so. What? The Age of Discovery in the 15th and 16th centuries provided the final, undeniable proof for the layperson. Portuguese voyages around the Cape of Good Hope and Ferdinand Magellan's circumnavigation, 1519 to 1522, demonstrated that the Earth was a continuous, curved surface with no physical edge. By the time the heliocentric model was accepted in the 17th century, the flat Earth was a discarded relic of pre-classical antiquity, existing only in the most marginal of intellectual spaces.
The modern flat Earth movement does not trace its lineage back to ancient Mesopotamia, but rather to the mid-19th century work of an English inventor and writer named Samuel Burley Rowbotham. Writing under the pseudonym, quote, Parallax, Rowbotham initiated a revival of flat Earth beliefs that was distinct for its use of pseudo-scientific methodology and its direct challenge to Newtonian physics. Rowbotham was an accomplished debater who could, quote, steamroll opponents in public lectures, often charging admission to demonstrate his theories.
What a guy. Con man. Snake oil salesman. Rowbotham's philosophy, zetetic astronomy, was based on the rejection of theoretical abstraction in favor of direct sensory experience. He argued that the word zetetic, meaning to seek or inquire, represented a form of science that only accepted what could be seen and measured by the human eye. This approach resonated with a Victorian public that was experiencing the rapid and often alienating professionalization of science. By appealing to, quote, common sense, Rowbotham positioned himself as a champion of the ordinary person against the dogma of the scientific elite. See? They're trying to tell you what to think. Don't believe them. Believe what's right in front of your eyes. What do you see? That's what he's telling them. We don't know. How are we supposed to know what they're telling us is true? What's right in front of your eyes? That's what you need to believe.
So believe your own evidence over others?
Yeah, exactly.
Because people lie.
Yeah, the science business.
Do you want me to become a new Albert Einstein? And just figure everything out about the Earth? And live for 100-some years?
Yeah. I won't be there. But you can let me know when you get to where I am.
Well, it depends on which religion you are in. And
Oh.
because to me, there's so many different places.
You just pick one?
Well, whatever your religion is, that's where you go. That's what kind of good or bad place you go.
If you're open to that. But there is definitely a branch of Christianity that's like, if you don't believe in God, you're going to go hang out with the devil for eternity. That's it.
See,
that's it.
That's not.
No? Everybody has an afterlife?
Yeah.
You want to convert to Mormonism, get a planet when you die?
What?
If you're Mormon enough, you get a planet after you die.
No, I'm good. I don't need a planet.
I think it's how it goes. We should look into that one too. Flat Earth?
Which Rowbotham?
What?
Model. Keeps sliding down. Rowbotham's model described the Earth as a stationary flat disk centered at the North Pole, with a wall of ice.
Oh, does the wall of ice bore you?
Huh? No, I just got like 5 hours of sleep and I accidentally did it. I pulled an all-nighter last night.
Oh, way to go.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not bored by what's on this side of the ice wall? What? Why are you looking at me like that? You live on this side of the ice wall on the flat Earth.
Yeah, but I've only ever explored, so
you're bored of this side of the ice wall?
No, because I haven't seen enough of it.
Well, you're yawning.
Because I'm sleepy.
Tired of this side of the ice wall.
Oh my god.
Keep going.
The flat disk centered at the North Pole, with a wall of ice, Antarctica, forming the perimeter to hold in the oceans. He claimed the sun and moon were much smaller and closer than scientists asserted, only about 3,000 miles above Earth's surface, and that they moved in circular paths over the disk. This model was, quote, faith-based, relying on literal interpretations of selected biblical quotes to supplement his, quote,
zetetic
observations.
In 1838, Robotham conducted his most famous, quote, proof at the Bedford level of the Old Bedford River. This 6-mile stretch of straight drainage ditch in the fens of East Anglia was ideal for measuring curvature because it had no locks or gates for several miles. Robotham waded into the water with a telescope held 8 inches above the surface and watched a boat with a flag on its mast sail 6 miles away. According to the known curvature of the Earth, the boat should have disappeared below the horizon, with the mast being 11 feet out of sight. However, Robotham reported that he could see the entire boat the whole time, concluding that the water surface was flat.
Our family group chat is posting pictures of constellations.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Weird.
This experiment, while influential, was fundamentally flawed because it ignored the effects of atmospheric refraction. Near the surface of the water, temperature gradients can cause light to bend downward, following the curvature of the Earth and allowing objects below the geometric horizon to remain visible. This phenomenon, often occurring when the air is warmer than the water, creates an illusion of flatness that Robotham mistook for physical reality.
In 1870, one of Robotham's followers, John Hampton, issued a 500-pound wager, roughly equivalent to 50,000 pounds today, to any scientist who could prove the Earth's curvature. The challenge was accepted by Alfred Russel Wallace, the naturalist and co-discoverer of natural selection. Wallace, a trained surveyor, corrected Robotham's errors by elevating the sight lines to 13.5 feet to reduce refraction and placing a middle marker between 2 bridges to observe the, quote, bump of curvature. Despite the visual evidence proving curvature, Hampton refused to pay, claiming the results were falsified. This initiated a 15-year campaign of legal harassment libel against Wallace that eventually led to Hampton's imprisonment for threats and defamation. The wager highlighted a core trait of the movement: the rejection of evidence that contradicts the foundational belief, regardless of its clarity. After Robotham's death, Lady Elizabeth Blount continued the movement through the Universal Zetetic Society, which remained active into the early 20th century before declining after World War I.
In the flat Earth paradigm, the ice wall is not merely a geographic feature, but a structural necessity. Its physical characteristics are often described using a mixture of co-opted scientific data and speculative imagery intended to emphasize its role as a global container.
Once again, bored of the ice wall.
I don't know if it's soft palate fatigue or tiredness or just lack of oxygen.
You strung together so many different words.
Well, before my concert, like our dress rehearsal, I would yawn a lot because I didn't have enough oxygen since I was using a lot of it.
2.
B,
Oh.
soft palate fatigue.
Okay. What's that?
When your soft palate is fatigued, and so it doesn't properly work, and so you have to yawn to take in more air.
Propaganda.
Because that's why you yawn. It's because your body's falling asleep. And so you're trying to get as much oxygen as you...
No, you didn't talk about the ice wall. We just got started on the ice wall. Perfect. That's plenty of oxygen to take on the rest of this.
Finally, a good yawn. Where was I?
Its physical characteristics? No. After that, modern proponents.
Modern proponents, such as Mark Sargent, often described the Antarctic ice wall, as a vertical structure reaching approximately 150 to 200 feet in height. This specific height is frequently compared to, quote, the wall from the fictional series A Song of Ice and Fire, lending a dramatic and impenetrable quality to the concept. This description is a selective interpretation of the Ross Ice Shelf, an actual geological feature of Antarctica characterized by massive sheer ice cliffs.
The Antarctic ice wall came a long time before the Song of Ice and Fire. But not very much, because it takes George R.R. Martin decades to write another book. Come on, bro. Finish the series so people stop talking about it. I'm over it. Hot take. While science identifies the Ross Ice Shelf as a floating extension of the continental ice sheet, covering an area roughly the size of France, the flat Earth model reimagines it as a continuous 360-degree ring. The circumference of this ring would necessarily exceed 24,000 miles to encompass the known continents in the azimuthal equidistant projection.
The existence of the ice wall is intrinsically linked to the flat Earth explanation for gravity. Because a flat disk would not possess a spherical gravitational field, proponents often reject gravity in favor of, quote, universal acceleration. In this model, the Earth accelerates upward at a rate of 9.8 meters per second? Meters per second squared.
Which, coincidentally, the upward rate, the universal acceleration. In this model, the Earth accelerates upward at a rate of 9.8 milliseconds, or meters per second squared. Which is the force of gravity on a globe. That's how fast you fall. With no wind resistance, you would fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. But with the flat Earth model, that's how fast it's going up.
And so, go, huh?
Amazing. Keep going.
The ice wall is essential in this framework to keep the world's oceans and atmosphere, quote, on board as the disk pushes upward. Furthermore, some proponents believe the ice wall supports a physical dome, or, quote, firmament, that encloses the atmosphere. This dome is said to be impenetrable, and events such as Operation Fishbowl, a series of high-altitude nuclear tests in 1962, are interpreted by conspiracy theorists as attempts by the United States government to, quote, crack or test the limits of the celestial barrier.
Should take a homemade rocket and shoot it into the sky.
Where are we going to get the funds to make a homemade rocket?
You can get a bottle rocket. It's a little bit better than fireworks, but it's not going to be like big, explodey, glitter in the sky. Yeah. And then when it bounces off the firmament, you'll know.
I don't think it'll reach anywhere close.
To the firmament?
To up there. I don't think it'll reach clouds.
You'll have to look up homemade rocket firmament. Homemade rocket bouncing off firmament. A defining feature of modern ice wall theory is the belief that its existence is the world's most guarded secret. This narrative centers on the idea that if private individuals were allowed to explore the Antarctic interior freely, they would inevitably discover the edge of the disk and the limitations of the spherical model. Proponents point to the Antarctic Treaty as the primary legal mechanism used to enforce the secret of the ice wall. That's so ridiculous. Signed on December 1st, 1959, the treaty was initially agreed upon by 12 nations, including the United States and the Soviet Union, during the height of the Cold War. It officially dematerialized militarized the continent and set it aside as a preserve for scientific activity. Yeah, save those videos to watch them later.
Oh, there's one that is like, it's an image, but it comes from a TikTok video. Proof firmament, flat Earth with a. What do these flags have anything to do with flat Earth?
I don't know. It's amazing. It's both comical and
Religion
enlightening.
perspective.
Yep.
It's all religious at this point.
All right. We're getting there. We're almost there.
To
the flat Earth community.
To the flat Earth community, the unprecedented level of international cooperation seen in the treaty is highly suspicious. They argue that, quote, nobody's allowed to go to Antarctica and that, quote, shady government agents patrol the perimeter to prevent unauthorized visits. This is like Illuminati now.
Yeah. It's a global cabal.
This is too much for one night, bro.
Keep going. We're almost done.
In reality, while the treaty restricts activities to those that are peaceful and scientifically oriented, it does not ban travel. Thousands of tourists visit Antarctica annually via cruise ships and guided expeditions, though they are limited to specific areas to protect the fragile environment.
Admiral Richard E. Byrd is a central figure in the mythology of the ice wall. As a leader of several massive American expeditions to Antarctica, including Operation High Jump, 1946 to 1947, and Operation Deep Freeze, 1955 to 1956, Byrd's missions are often interpreted as military efforts to secure the boundary of the world. I'll keep going since it was so small. Conspiracy theories regarding Byrd often focus on a, quote, lost diary in which he allegedly records a flight into a fertile region within the hollow earth or beyond the ice wall, where he met an advanced civilization. While Byrd did not record extraordinary geological features, such as the snow-free Bunger Hills, which he called, quote, an island suitable for life in a universe of death. Science has shown these areas to be cold deserts with unique microbial ecosystems rather than tropical paradises. The ice wall model is frequently tested by real-world observations that are difficult to reconcile with a flat disk geometry. Two of the most significant challenges are the behavior of the sun in the southern hemisphere and the logistics of trans-hemispheric travel.
The 20th century iteration of the movement was marked by a transition from Victorian pseudoscience to a more explicit conspiracy culture, primarily through the leadership of Samuel Shenton and Charles Kenneth Johnson. If someone was named Charles Kenneth Johnson today, they would get bullied so hard.
Why?
Charles Kenneth Johnson.
Yeah.
That is an old person name. No one's named Kenneth anymore. Unless you're like in your 70s.
Running out of Kens.
Good.
Running out of Garys.
Well, not quite. Well, his nickname's Gary.
Is his real name Gregory?
No. His real name is Garyon.
Garyon?
Yeah.
Good Lord, that's way worse. That's an old name.
No.
Yeah.
Not as old as Kenneth. Garyon's in like his 50s to early 60s.
All right, keep going.
Kenneth is in his 70s. Charles Kenneth Johnson. In 1956, Samuel Shenton founded the International Flat Earth Research Society,
IFRS.
IFRS, IFERS, in Dover, England. As a successor to the defunct Universal Zetetic Society, Shenton's leadership coincided with the dawn of the space race, a period that presented an existential threat to flat Earth beliefs. When the first satellite images of Earth were released, showing a clear sphere, Shenton dismissed them as, quote, depictions of the public.
Deceptions
of the public. He argued that wide-angle lenses created an illusion of curvature and that the space programs were simply, quote, scientific dabblers trying to fool the masses.
Yep. Upon Shenton's death in 1971, Charles Kenneth Johnson took over the society, moving its headquarters to Lancaster, California. Johnson was a charismatic figure who became a minor celebrity in the 1970s and 80s, gaining national media attention for his cheerful insistence that the world was being duped by scientists. Johnson's rhetoric focused heavily on the idea of a global conspiracy, claiming that NASA, the Apollo moon landings, and the space shuttle program were elaborate hoaxes. Malarkey. It's all malarkey.
Peter Malark.
Peter Malark? Malarkey.
Bread boy.
Okay.
Johnson's model was a synthesis of Robotham Zetetism and a highly skeptical view of modern technology. He famously pointed to the United Nations flag, which uses a polar azimuthal equidistant projection as proof that the, quote, powers that be secretly acknowledged the Earth's true flat shape. During his tenure, membership swelled to about 3,500 people, but the society's popularity did not last. By the time Johnson died in 2001, membership had dwindled to approximately 100, and the society nearly disappeared before the advent of the internet.
Those 100 people knew the truth. Know the truth.
No, they were crazy.
The current iteration of the Flat Earth movement is fundamentally different from its predecessors, relying on the decentralized, viral nature of the internet rather than a formal society or charismatic leader. This modern resurgence is categorized as a, quote, super conspiracy, a theory that links multiple smaller conspiracies into one overarching narrative of global deception. That's why it doesn't work. There's a million different ways to explain one thing, and they just link all these conspiracies together. In 2014, a yoga instructor named Eric Dubé published a video and book titled 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball.
And who gave you the clarification that you are a scientist and you have all the proof in the world that the Earth is not a spinning ball? Who told you were a scientist?
He's a yoga instructor?
That doesn't relate to astronomy in any way, shape, or form.
I'm sure he goes to the astral plane and talks to people there while he's doing his yoga. He's an astral projector. He's got to be. If he has knowledge for 200 proofs Earth is not a spinning ball. Obviously.
I don't think he has knowledge for 200 proofs that the Earth is not a spinning ball. Because, newsflash, the Earth is a spinning ball.
This content acted as a catalyst for a new wave of belief, utilizing high-quality graphics and a rapid-fire delivery of, quote, proofs that overwhelmed many viewers. Dubé's work emphasized the idea that, quote, common sense had been hijacked by, quote, mind control from a young age through the use of globes in classrooms. Going up there. The impact was immediate, leading to a, quote, participatory culture where individuals could perform their own research, usually meaning watching more videos and feel like part of an elite group that had, quote, awakened to the truth.
You lost me on mind control.
Riddle me this, Batman. You are a child of YouTube. You don't think you're being controlled by the people of YouTube?
I'm not being mind controlled that the earth is a round ball. Who am I? Freaking.
You're getting mind controlled by whole other things.
What's his name? Jimmy Neutron. I'm just watching a bunch of science videos on YouTube that tell me that the earth is round. That's who you think I am?
Jimmy Donaldson?
Jimmy Neutron?
Do you know who Jimmy Donaldson is?
Sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. I thought you've been indoctrinated. Jimmy Donaldson is Mr. Beast.
Oh. I don't watch him that much.
No. But you watch the other people that put thoughts in your mind without you even knowing.
You are included of one of those, just so you know.
What?
You're my parent. You raised me. I learned how to talk because of you.
That's the nurture part. Nature you're getting from the YouTubes. You don't think so? You catch yourself sometimes? See an ad for KFC and you're like, use some KFC now.
When I'm hungry.
Anyway, we've been at this for over an hour. We got a couple minutes to go. Research indicates.
Yeah. I stopped listening basically after mind control. It's just really funny to me how even as a yoga instructor, you have all this
He's the authority
knowledge.
one.
You have the authority in this situation.
Downward facing dog. And the earth is flat.
And pull a flat earth. Like, what? Research indicates that YouTube has been the primary driver of the modern flat earth conversation process. Conversion process.
No. Things are getting good now.
That was not even a good yawn.
Come on.
The platform's recommended algorithm, designed to maximize engagement, frequently directed users toward increasingly sensational conspiracy content. A 2018 study found that many modern flat earth believers had been, quote, converted by YouTube videos, often after initially watching them with the intent of debunking the claims. The algorithm creates, quote, echo chambers where information is produced and shared in restricted circles, reinforcing preferences and sentiments while insulating the group from outside evidence.
Makes sense. The digital resurgence created a situation where in a 2018 survey, only 82% of 18 to 24-year-old Americans stated they had, quote, always believed the earth was round. While firm belief in a flat earth remains rare, less than 2% acceptance in all age groups, the visibility of the movement has increased exponentially due to social media influencers and high-profile endorsements.
I also have always believed the earth is round.
You haven't going down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos telling you how flat it really is.
Why would I need to do that?
Well, that's exactly what this last thing said. Watch the video to say these guys are morons. While you're watching the video, you're like, huh. They got a point.
That's just rage baiting myself.
Maybe they got a good point. But that's what people do.
Why would I rage bait myself?
To look at the other side. Honestly, it's a good way to keep yourself informed of both sides and be able to argue for or against one side or the other. You read the next part, or should I?
I got it. The persistence of the flat Earth hypothesis in the face of overwhelming satellite imagery and physical evidence is a subject of intense psychological and sociological study. It is generally classified as a form of, quote, science denial, driven by several key factors. At the core of modern flat Earth belief is a profound distrust of institutions, not just scientific ones, but also government and media. For many adherents, the Earth's shape is the, quote, ultimate conspiracy. If they can lie about the very ground beneath our feet, they can lie about anything. This belief provides a sense of ontological security and identity, placing the believer at the center of an intelligently designed universe rather than a random speck in an infinite void. Adherents often describe their belief as a form of, quote, salvific knowledge or gnosis, an awakening that allows them to see through the, quote, mind control of the educational system.
Studies have shown that some individuals are more susceptible to these beliefs due to underlying psychological factors. Feelings of loneliness and significant negative life events can trigger a search for community and meaning, which online conspiracy groups provide. These communities offer a sense of belonging and a shared vocabulary that bridges the gap opened by initial doubts about institutional knowledge. Furthermore, the backfire effect often occurs when these beliefs are challenged. Fact confrontation methods can actually strengthen the initial misconception as the individual retreats into the protective social layer of the, quote, echo chamber.
That's why I don't like this, because it's all but just an echo chamber. It's just like, the Earth is flat, you can't tell me otherwise. I agree with you. I also agree with you.
That's your echo chamber.
But then anyone who's like, the Earth is round and there's lots of proof of it. No, you're not allowed here. Get out. The discourse within these groups often follows what researchers call the Esperantist epidictic.
Yep.
Esperantist epidictic genre. The epidictic aspect focuses on praise or blame to reinforce shared values, while the
Esperantist
content keeps the discourse within a restricted hermetic sphere where beliefs are not disrupted but celebrated. This avoids dialogical situations where the theory might be debunked, maintaining group cohesion through, quote, mantras and the policing of the community's gates.
Despite their rejection of mainstream science, flat earthers frequently conduct their own experiments to prove their hypothesis. These tests often provide unintended evidence of the Earth's sphericity, which is then rationalized or ignored. In the 2018 documentary Behind the Curve, flat Earth proponent Bob Nodell purchased a $20,000 high-precision ring laser gyroscope. He stated that if the Earth were a globe rotating at 15 degrees per hour, the gyroscope would pick up that drift. To his surprise, the experiment showed a consistent 15 degrees per hour drift. Rather than accepting this as proof of Earth's rotation, Nodell and his team attempted to shield the device from what they assumed were, quote, celestial energies to stop the drift, which they were unable to do. This illustrates the zetetic refusal to accept data that contradicts the predetermined conclusion.
Close-minded.
Keep going.
Another
We're working on
experiment
an hour and a half
featured
here.
in Behind the Curve involved
Geron?
Campanella attempting to shine a laser through holes in two boards at the same height above water level over a long distance. If the Earth was curved, the light would not pass through the second hole unless it was elevated. When the light finally appeared only after the board was raised, Campanella's reaction was simply, "That's interesting," as he struggled to reconcile the result with his flat Earth model.
In a flat Earth model centered at the North Pole, the Sun circles the Earth. During the northern summer, it circles a path closer to the center. During the southern summer, it moves in a wider circle toward the ice wall. If this model were correct, the sun would necessarily rise and set every day for an observer at the ice wall, as the sun would move too far away to be visible.
However, Antarctica experiences the, quote, midnight sun, where the sun remains above the horizon for 24 continuous hours during the December solstice. This also happens in Sweden, which is why Zara Larsson created that song Midnight Sun, because the sun is still up at midnight.
Fun fact.
Fun facts with Phoenix.
Ooh, it could be a thing.
I think we should make that. The midnight sun, where the sun remains above the horizon for 24 continuous hours during the December solstice. To test this, an expedition titled, quote, the Final Experiment was organized in December 2024 by Pastor Will Duffy. Duffy invited several prominent flat Earth proponents to Antarctica to witness the sun firsthand. After traveling to Union Glacier Camp, approximately 79 degrees south, the participants observed the sun circling the sky without setting for several days.
The impact of this observation was profound. Geron Campanella, a well-known flat Earth content creator, admitted, quote, "It's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south," and acknowledged that his previous model was no longer valid. Despite this, the broader flat Earth community largely rejected the results, accusing the participants of being part of a larger conspiracy or claiming the footage was faked in a studio.
Scientific analysis of these tests show that they often fail because they are, quote, scientifically worthless in their execution. For example, laser experiments across lakes often ignore laser beam divergence, or the beam widens over distance, and the difficulty of aligning a laser perfectly horizontally without accounting for the Earth's known radius. The question of whether it is, quote, easier to prove that the Earth is flat or round depends entirely on the observer's
Epistemological
framework. From a zetetic or sensory perspective, the Earth appears flat. From a theoretic or scientific perspective, the Earth is
demonstrably
spherical.
For the casual observer, the Earth presents itself as a stationary plane. The sun and moon appear to be small disks moving across the sky, and water always seeks its own level, forming a flat surface. This immediate sensory feedback is why flat Earth ideas persist. They require no specialized training to verify. Adherents argue that the globe model is a, quote, religious doctrine, requiring a, quote, blind dogmatic article of faith in scientists, whereas their view is based on, quote, sanity and common sense. Don't believe the scientists, we're smarter than them.
Conversely, proving the Earth is spherical requires understanding abstract concepts like gravity, atmospheric refraction, and non-Euclidean geometry. It involves interpreting data from lunar eclipses, stellar parallax, and
Coriolis.
Coriolis effects, phenomena that are not always intuitive. While the spherical model is the only one that can consistently explain all observed phenomena, such as the way ships disappear, the behavior of pendulums, and the design of long-span bridges, it requires a level of, quote, intellectual control that some find less accessible than the direct evidence of the horizon.
The modern flat Earth movement, therefore, is not just a debate about geometry, but a fundamental conflict over how we define truth. It is a retreat into pre-scientific worldview where personal experience is the ultimate authority, rejecting the abstract but powerful models that have allowed humanity to understand its place in a vast and complex universe. As digital algorithms continue to amplify these fringe perspectives, the challenge for science education is not just to provide facts, but to rebuild the trust in the institutions that discover them. Awesome. Good job. We did it. We decided that the Earth is flat. Thank you. No? It's not what you're thinking?
Earth is round.
Round. You ever see that? I'll have to send you the video. It's a old thing when Flash was a thing on the internet.
Round.
Damn, that is a sweet Earth. Round.
What?
I'll show you. It's pretty good. Anyway, question brought.
Question answered.